Hi guys, today we will be learning about Esther. So let's just dive right in. So the book of Esther was made 100 years after the Israelites were in exile. So the main characters are Mordecai and Esther, and then the Persian king and his evil advisor Haman. Some Israelites did go back to Jerusalem, but a lot did not. And this book is mostly about some Jews and Israelites living in Susa, which is the capital of Persian country. The surprising feature of this book is that God is never mentioned. The author greatly did this to make you wonder if God is ever mentioned in the book at all. So the book starts with the king being at a drinking feast. The king, in a drunken selfishness, orders that his wife, Queen Vashti, reveal herself and show off her beauty. However, she says no, so this makes the king angry. So he makes a decree that says men should be the head of the household. Then holds a beauty pageant to get a new queen. Esther hides her secret identity of being Jewish, and she enters and wins the beauty pageant greatly. The king likes her so much that he makes her the new queen. Mordecai gets credit by the king because he just so happens to hear two guards planning to murder the king. He tells Esther what she tells the king, and he gets promoted for saving the king. So now we're introduced to Haman. Haman is not actually a Jew. Haman is called an Agagite. Agagites are descendants of the ancient Canaanites. The king elevates Haman to the highest position in the kingdom. He makes a decree that everybody has to kneel before Haman. When Mordecai sees this, he does not kneel. This obviously makes Haman angry. So when Haman finds out that Mordecai is Jewish, he convinces the king to make a decree to kill all Jewish people in Susa. To decide which day, he rolls the dice, which means poor in Hebrew. They decide that on the 13th of Adar, all Jews will die. So they then have a drinking feast to celebrate their bad decision. So now the only hope for the Jews is Esther and Mordecai. Esther plans that she will go to the king, reveal she is Jewish, and ask to reverse the decree. However, Mordecai says that in Persian law, approaching the king is an act worthy of death. So Mordecai thinks that help will come from somewhere else. He thinks that Esther becoming queen is for this very moment. But Esther replies, saying, "If I perish, I perish." So Esther invites Haman and the king to a banquet. She says that the next day she will make a request to them. Haman leaves, drunk, sees Mordecai on the street, and orders that a stake be built so Mordecai can die on it in the morning. It just seems like it can't get any worse for the Jews. The king, surprisingly, can't sleep that day, so he has the royal chronicles read to him. He hears how Mordecai happened to save his life. He had forgotten. In the morning, Haman asks for the king for Mordecai's execution. And the king says that Mordecai be honored instead of have his execution. So now Haman has to take Mordecai around the city on a royal horse, telling everyone to praise him. Here is where the story pivots. Haman's downfall and Mordecai's rise to power. Esther invites them to a second banquet. First, she tells them that she is Jewish. Then she tells the king that Haman plotted to kill her and Mordecai and all the Jews in the city. Now the king is in a drinking rage when he leaves and orders that Haman be killed on the stake he built for Mordecai. However, this death does not stop the decree to kill all Jews. They realize that the king can't reverse a decree. On the day of 13th of Adar, when the Jews were supposed to be killed, Mordecai and Esther made a counter decree saying that the Jews can defend themselves. This results in joy and happiness for the Jews. The Esther and Mordecai give permission to the Jews to destroy any people who plotted against them in the whole kingdom. They defeat their enemies, and Esther and Mordecai make an annual 2-day feast day called Purim. That comes from the dice that Haman rolled earlier. And this represents how they saved the Jews from evil. Please consider subscribing. If you like my videos, hit that like button. Bye!